Day 3 of Steelers OTAs and a draft press conference. Alan was over at Acrisure Stadium. I was here at the south side.
I kind of like this apart together thing. This is going well. This is going well. Oh, I didn't realize. Sorry,
we're doing shades.
Okay.
We're doing double shades today. I'll tell you what, Alan. Today over here, I think you missed some sparks. You missed one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, let me tell the people what I saw, and then you can tell. Because I was here first, and I was watching the offensive linemen, and it was great because they were doing drills, and, Pat Meyer would set up the drill and set up the instruction, and then you'd see the rookies get it wrong. And then you would see not Pat Meyer, but guys like Nate Herbig and James Daniels and Isaac Seumalo grabbing guys and kind of, no, hands here. And then, okay, do it again. And, there's 3 rookies on that offensive line. There's only one Pat Meyer. And so it is going to be very important to have those veteran guys around to try to coach up guys like Zach Frazier, Troy Fautanu. And so I think a really valuable I don't know that it's the most gripping video. It's not like guys making impressive catches or something like that, but I think it was cool to watch. So that's up here, one video up on the YouTube channel. Now, what did I miss here on the south side?
Okay, so you missed a few things. So for the first time today, we saw them do the new kickoff stuff.
Okay.
That was fun. And what surprised me was we talked about different body types. Well, who was on kickoff team? Braden Fehoko, Isaiah Loudermilk, and Keanu Benton. And I thought this was awesome because I hadn't really considered defensive linemen, but there's so little space with what you're doing that you can actually 2-gap and double team and split the linebackers right behind them. Like Peyton Wilson was coming right behind these guys and splitting and just flying into the returners. It was pretty cool actually to see. So I love that. Isaiah Loudermilk said, they're still feeling it out, but it's like a pretty interesting thought process from Danny Smith. So that's part of what they're doing on the kickoff team right now. If you wanted to spark big highlight plays of the day, there were 2 or 3 of them, I would say. On that kickoff team, Beanie Bishop forced a fumble. I thought that was good to see. He also forced a really nice pass breakup on Roman Wilson. Just stuck it in, stuck with him on a dig route, broke it up. I thought Beanie Bishop had a really good day today. I think he started to mix in a little bit with the ones, so Beanie Bishop, I think, his stock up. I also thought the big offensive play of the day, we hadn't seen a ton of offensive fireworks yet. You could still tell there was a little bit of a disconnect. There's so much new.
Well, the defense is just so much more together than the offense at this point.
There's not as many new pieces on the defensive side of the football, but we did see a Russ Moon ball today, a deep ball about 80 yards to Quez Watkins for what would have been a touchdown. Probably, I don't know if it was a coverage bust. Watkins just got behind the defense. And Quez Watkins said that's what he can do. That's what he wants to show he can do. So there's your first kind of big receiver play. We hadn't really seen, huge plays from receivers. We had seen kind of guys making advancements. But Quez Watkins with the big first one. I think Calvin Austin, you talked about him yesterday, continues to take up. I talked to Calvin today a little bit and just kind of asked him what he improved upon. He talked a lot about actually improving the return game. He thought that was something he could do, but he said he wanted to get quicker on the snap of his routes. So, when he runs curls and when he runs stuff that requires the snap, because he thinks the snap can open up his deep stuff when kind of defenders have to respect that. And I saw it a few times today. They run a lot of curls and a lot of comebacks and digs and stuff that requires you to real snap, or whether that's in break, out break, or snap down. He looks quicker. He has less wasted movement. So I think Calvin Austin has some new in his game. In fact, he told me, it wasn't like the one of those, like, I want to see if it shows up things. It was, he said, I know I am quicker on the snap of my routes. So Calvin Austin, someone to watch there too. Beanie Bishop also had my favorite quote of the day. He said, I don't like pretty players. A lot of wide receivers are pretty players. I'm a dog. I'm nasty and rugged. I think that's pretty good.
Pittsburgh's going to like Beanie Bishop a lot.
If you're a West Virginia fan, that's how Beanie Bishop plays. He's 100 miles per hour. He has no fear of what is going to happen to him on any given play. Said he actually looks up to Mike Hilton. I know that's like the baseline slot corner everyone goes about, and you're probably tired of hearing about who can he be Mike Hilton. Well, Beanie quite literally looks up to Mike. So same path, right? Undrafted.
Nobody
underlooked.
Looks up
right
to Mike.
They do now because Mike is like the standard bearer of these physical slots.
I'm aware. And look, I think that's a reasonable pass for Beanie Bishop. I think that's not hyperbole. That's not just talk, right? I think he can be maybe not necessarily as good as Mike Hilton was right away, but I think he can be that kind of player.
Yeah, regardless, the similar path you say he looks up to him. So it was an interesting locker room today. Not as eventful. Everyone has flights for the weekend for where they're going. So, it got a few less guys, but the guys that I did get, a lot of substance there.
Cool.
So, yeah, I think that's kind of all. You talked to the guys.
I talked to Art Rooney. I talked to the Governor Shapiro. I talked to Mayor Gainey. Mostly just about how this process came about, the details that we do know. Mayor Gainey said he is predicting 1 million people are going to come to the city of Pittsburgh for this event over 3 days. They're still working out the details. There will be a stage on the North Shore, right, probably in that Gold One parking lot just outside the east gates of Acrisure Stadium, but no firm details on that. And Art Rooney said something that I thought was very interesting, that they expect this draft to be not just about the Pittsburgh Steelers, but really to highlight the history of football in Western Pennsylvania. He mentioned Pudge Heffelfinger being the first professional football player from Allegheny City, right there on the north side, and then guys like John Unitas and Mike Ditka and Dan Marino, and how Pittsburgh is this place with this deep football history. And he wants that to be one of the each draft is supposed to have like a theme for the guests, and I think they haven't officially announced this, but I think that's where we're headed with a theme for this draft. The other thing that really stuck out to me is talking to Allegheny County Executive Sarah Morato, was that she expects this to be a lot of people's first visit to Pittsburgh. There are 11, I think, NFL teams within a 4-hour drive. So people are going to come here for the first time, and she thinks that Pittsburgh can really put on the kind of welcoming, mindset and presence that we have as a city. She said, this is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. She's like, I think a lot of people are going to fall in love with Pittsburgh for the first time. Governor Shapiro said he's been a pain in the bleep to Commissioner Roger Goodell over the last 2 years, lobbying for this to happen, but said that Roger Goodell said, I can't wait to be up on Mount Washington and see all those people across the city at the draft. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool event. There's going to be, I think what Ed Gainey also said, that there's going to be a lot of people that say have their spiritual roots in Pittsburgh. And that might come home, right?
He's expecting hey, all the Steelers fans who left in their my grandfather was a Steelers fan, or my dad was a Steelers fan. They've never been to Pittsburgh, or their families left Pittsburgh in the late 70s and early 80s. When the steel industry declined, he's expecting it to be like a giant homecoming for Steelers Nation, and they have very lofty expectations of being able to pull off an enormous event. And so we'll see. Somebody already on Twitter was like, where's everybody to park? I'm like, I don't know. If Green Bay can do it, Pittsburgh can do it, because in Green Bay, the media parking is in some woman named Linda's backyard. So I think we can handle it.
Well, literally in Buffalo, it is in Linda's backyard.
Green Bay's worse.
Green Bay's worse than that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I'm really looking forward to the legends, too, just from every team you could think of. The Jets, Darrelle Revis, Patriots, Ty Law, Dolphins, Dan Marino, Cowboys, Tony Dorsett. Cardinals, even if you want to throw in, Pitt guys like Larry Fitzgerald, right? I mean, there's just so many. 49ers, Joe Montana. There's so many Western PA just legends that have come out of the game. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that evolves. That's all here, though, from today for the Steelers practice report. Nick Farabaugh, Alan Saunders. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, comment down below. We'll be back here next week. OTAs are Tuesday through Thursday yet again. Make sure to check that out. Make sure to check out more at SteelersNow.com. We will still be writing stuff throughout the weekend today, catching you guys up on all that has happened. Trust me, I have more content that I know what to do with right now out of this first week, so it's all going to come out between now and next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Me and Alan Saunders.